Today I get some rounds with the GOAT. One of the GOATs. You know what I mean? Two GOATs. Iron sharpen iron.
We haven't seen you since the world tour of Canelo versus Crawford. I was out in Riyadh. We had the American press conference too. What do you make of the build-up so far? There's some pushing and shoving going on. The weight difference is a big factor as well.
I pay no attention to the pushing and shoving. I pay no attention to the weight factor. What I pay attention to is the skill level that both guys show in and out of the ring.
Terence Crawford has brought in Roy Jones to help train for Canelo Alvarez. He picked Roy because of his background in moving through divisions. Roy is famously known for that.
Guys, even when I train right now, they come to my gym and I make them spend time, repetitious time like I did on technique. They don't like it. They just want to beat bags, beat hand mitts, spar. Well, how can you do all this if you don't know the real technique that it takes to do it? So that's what's happening. We're missing all that because soon you come to the gym, first thing you want to do is hit something. In our day, it wasn't like that. You knew what kind of fighter you were. You knew how to jab. You knew how to throw a right hand. You knew how to throw every punch. You knew how to counter every punch. You knew how to defend every punch. You knew boxing from here.
Even though Roy Jones is around, Crawford will also be working with Brian McIntyre and Benny Thaw. This is Crawford's biggest fight, so he's training harder than ever to be fully ready. Asterisk.
I'll be in your top 10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10. Because he definitely had the skill of a top 5. Just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get. And that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best.
Terence said he never faced icons like Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, and others, but Canelo did, so fighting Canelo feels like facing all of them. With Roy Jones Jr. in his camp, Crawford is aiming to shock everyone by going up to divisions and beating Canelo to become the only boxer with undisputed titles in 3 classes. Roy Jones also moved through several weights. Got it?
Our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe, Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound, that maybe Inoue because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donaire. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times. He lost nobody.
Jones won a belt at 168-pound super middleweight, the same class Crawford and Canelo now compete in. Roy also became champ at middleweight, light heavy, and heavyweight, so he's the right person for Crawford to learn from as he makes a big jump of 14 pounds from super welter to super middleweight.
Canelo, done deal. Looks like the fight is signed. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Yeah, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he's gonna lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's gonna be a tough one. So right now, I think it go be either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fight.
You've been a guy that moved up in weight class. How do you think?
Canelo and Crawford have done 3 pressers before their September 13th showdown. This major undisputed bout will go down at Allegiant Stadium, Las Vegas. It's the most hyped matchup in years. Canelo's strength versus Crawford's smarts. But don't be fooled, Canelo has major skill, and Crawford scored 31 knockouts in 41 pro bouts. Both men are elite, but Crawford's weight jump raises real questions about how he'll absorb punches.
I don't care who you beat, the monster thing is going to always follow him.
Terence is not taking a fight in between. He's like, I'm going to move up to 168. I'm going to take my time with that. Should we expect an upset, or are we going to see what most people are expecting in that fight if it does happen?
Well, we're not going to see what most people are expecting. That's for sure. I can guarantee you that, because most people are looking at the weights and saying, oh, they're too far apart. Canelo's too big. No, we're not going to see what
Roy Jones Jr. believes Crawford's chin is the key to this battle. He thinks fans will get a war between 2 hungry men. Talking to Fight Hub TV, Roy said, I don't care about the pushing or shoving at the presser. I don't care about their weight. What I focus on is their skills, both in and outside the ring. He said Crawford has long wanted this and will grab this moment with both hands.
If he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know. It'll all be predicated upon how well Terence can take his punch.
Yeah. You said you don't think, or you don't look into the weight difference. Why?
When you know how to box, when you're as skillful as Terence Crawford is, weight don't really matter much. All that matter with the weight is can you take the punch? And I'm sure you've been sparring with super middles and light heavies, so I'm sure you probably can take.
Speaking about Canelo, Roy said, he's not super hungry anymore, but he loves to entertain, wants big events, and always tries to make those fights happen. He might not win each time, but he shows up. If he brings that same energy on fight night, he can win. But it depends on how well Crawford can take punches. If you've got Terence's skills, weight means less. The only concern is if you can take a shot.
Should he just retire and go on the sunset?
Bud definitely should retire if he wins. Canelo, no, you have unfinished business, bro. You can try to hide, you can try to run, but that monster thing, it ain't going nowhere. I'm sorry. Even if you retire the rest of your career, the monster thing is not going anywhere because the monster was searching for you. He beat everything y'all sent at him in the process of trying to get to you. I don't care who you beat, the monster thing is going to always follow him.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there was a time where he was saying...
Roy expects Terence to spar against super middleweights or even light heavies to toughen up for Canelo. Crawford must trust his chin against Canelo's punches. Before linking up with him, Roy spoke to Mill City Boxing about the matchup. While praising Crawford, he admitted that Canelo still has the edge in this showdown.
A lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. You give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What do he got to prove to Boot? Boot trying to take over and start beating the guys around him. Prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who?
Roy said, I like Terence, but early on, I lean toward Canelo due to his size. Still, if Crawford gets into rhythm, he's dangerous. If Crawford can handle the weight difference, he could win. Roy highlighted that Canelo's power is the biggest test. We haven't seen Terence hit like that before, he said. If you can't hurt a guy like Canelo, it's hard to make him change. And that's a real issue Crawford must solve.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying like, hey, forget about Canelo. That was a tough fight with Madrimov. Go ahead and give Boots a shot. You give Boots the chance. But Eddie's saying, hey, I think Crawford's saying, hey, give me the Canelo fight or I'm not fighting. I'm done.
Why? What do he got to prove to Boot? Boot trying to take over and start beating the guys around him. Prove that he's the best of that group. Bud is in a group above him. Bud don't need to come back down to 47 to meet him. That's crazy. Why would he? Bud looking to try to make history and get out. Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who?
It wasn't always like this for Roy, a Hall of Fame legend. Now a promoter, coach, and analyst. Roy once thought Crawford or David Benavidez could both take down Canelo. But since then, he's changed his prediction. Why? Let's find out.
Now I want to see Crawford come up for weight classes and show he can be dominant at 54. You understand me?
That fight was done, Crawford and
Crawford won a pound better fight to fight. I mean, it'll be tough. But right now, that's going to be a tough fight for both fighters. We got to see how Crawford carries the weight.
What about Jamal? Based on what you saw from Canelo, how does he match up?
Jamal matches up a little different because Jamal a little bit bigger. So
Roy first brought up Benavidez, calling it a tough call since he throws so many shots. Power can change things quick, he told BOXINGScene.com. He said Canelo won't take the risk unless he can drop Benavidez early. If Canelo doesn't stop him in the first few rounds, he won't win. Benavidez, a two-time champ at 168, has wanted this Canelo fight for years, but hasn't gotten the call yet.
Were you impressed by?
About the power he showed. He fought the proper fight for the proper opponent. When you fight a guy coming up 2 weight classes, you're supposed to bully him. He fought Floyd Mayweather that way back in the day when we saw a much better fight. But he didn't. But he's learned now, and that shows you that he's improved and he understands boxing more now because he bullied the smaller guy, which is what you're supposed to do. What you say?
What about Crawford, boy?
Crawford still, I think he's a little big for Crawford. I'm not sure about that because Crawford does have punching power and shock, but
Crawford has pop and surprise, and he's stepping up to classes to face the Mexican star. He was once seen as the world's top welterweight, but Canelo says beating Crawford won't change his legacy much, even though many think Terence has. A solid shot, Roy said. If anyone can do it, it's Crawford. I was the guy who'd say, if you think you're better than me and I can reach your weight, I'm coming to fight you.
Bud, Canelo, done deal. Looks like the fight is signed. What's your thoughts on this fight, man?
Man, it's a great fight for boxing. I know people don't agree with it, but if Canelo fights one inkling of the wrong fight, he's going to lose. If he comes out and fights the right fight, it's going to be tough. So right now, I think it's going to be either way, but it depends on what type of fight Canelo fights. You've been a guy that moved up in weight class.
Roy agreed and added, "You're right. Canelo beats taller guys all the time. It's about skill. Still, if Crawford uses his natural size the right way, he's got a chance." Roy suggested Crawford bulk up and come in at the max weight. For Super Middle, that wraps it up. Subscribe now and hit the bell to stay up to date with the latest fight news, events, and top boxing content.
The last fighters that you fought, they ain't on my level. And
I fought everybody.
The last fighters you fought since
Everybody.
2002.
Mention me one. You
Since
mention me
2002.
one elite fighter. Just one.
You.
Oh, me.
Look, look,
It's
look.
gonna be me.
I don't
And
care
you-
about
Only thing when you got skill. Now, if you don't have a skill, you can't take the weight, take it up. Because you're gonna lose your punch, you're gonna lose everything. And when you got skill, all your stuff that you have goes up with you. You talk to the GOAT, I went out with a heavyweight.
No, it's a lot of the people, which is why I brought up, would use the weight as an advantage for Canelo. But I agree, and you're right. Canelo fights obviously taller fighters all the time and wins. It's about skill as opposed to.